How y'all doing? This is Defender of Angels again, back for part 2. And, part 1 we saw some interesting spots. So hopefully we'll get some more interesting spots in parts 2. I will make this a 3-part video, maybe even 4, depending on how long I comment on this video. I played about a 30-minute session, so, hopefully I'll keep the total amount of videos under an hour, but you never know. So let's get started. Table 5, we pick up King 10, 9, 8, and we go ahead and raise blind versus blind. We take down the small pot. Back in part 1, I talked about how these players can be very loose, very aggressive with some, not so savory holdings, and a competent player will take advantage of this by playing premium hands and knowing when to get their money in, and when the donks, play this loose, aggressive, 84 card style, you really have to be patient to get your money in, because most likely they will pay you off when you do hit your hand. Anyways, table 5, we pick up 8 Queen Jack 10 non-suited, pretty well coordinated hand from the cutoff. We'll go ahead and raise. Table 1, we pick up aces, ace queen 5. Ace and the 5 is suited on the button. We'll go ahead and raise that. Let me go ahead and pause this. Table 5, we pick up middle pair. This is a good flop for us. It's very dry. It's not very draw heavy. So, I will seep at this nearly 100% of the time. So, I expect to seep at this. Table 1, we get a very good flop. We pick up the nut flush draw with the gut shot, gut shot straight draw, excuse me, and we also have an overpair. So, I'll also probably seep at this flop 99% of the time. So we'll see what happens. Table 1, we get donk bet into. It's less than half pot, so I'm putting him on a king, maybe king 10, king 3 even, maybe even queen jack, or maybe even a weaker flush draw. Obviously we're going to try to get our money in as soon as possible, so I'm just going to go ahead and raise his donk bet. And we'll see what happens. I do raise him, and I think he tanks for a while. Table 5, we pick up a open-ender with the jack of clubs, and we also get middle 2 pair with the jack, so jack 8. So we have a pretty good hand now with the turn. We really improve on the turn. There is a flush draw possibility out there, and we're just gonna go ahead and bet this again. It really helped our turn, and maybe button has a weak king or 5-6 or 9-10 or something. So we'd go ahead and c-bet that out. He calls, and we river our nut straight. At this point, that's a good scare card. If I had like a set of 8s, a set of kings, or even king 8, that's a good scare card. So I'm gonna go ahead and check, and hopefully he'll bet out sensing weakness, and I could snap call him off, obviously, or put them all in, and we'll see what happens. Table 1, he folds and leaves the table. Table 1's dying down, so I'm probably going to leave that table soon. Table 1, we pick up Queen, Ace, King, 7 with the Ace and the Queen suited. Let me pause this really quickly. He had 6, 8, 10, 9. He was calling the flop with just, one pair, and he called, and he got the jack, so he flopped the lower open-ended straight draw. So, he should be folding the hand post-flop, almost nearly all of the time. I mean, pre-flop, I don't blame his call. It's a pretty coordinated hand, but, post-flop, he should be folding that most of the time. So, hey, but he didn't, and we got some value out of it. Table 4, we pick up 9s with 7, 9 suited. It's a min raise, so I'm going to go ahead and call. Hopefully flop a set. And we flop 3 of a kind, so I'm going to go ahead and check. This is a type of flop that doesn't hit my range. Button checks back, and we get a open-ended flush draw in addition to our 3 of a kind, and I go for a value bet. Turn is a jack, river is a jack, excuse me, and I go for a second value bet. He tanks, and he ends up folding. The kind of hand that I just played on table 4, you got to be careful. Back in the first part, we had a similar hand. We got dominated. But the difference is that this is just, heads up, just me and the other guy. So, I'm not too worried about getting cooler there. At the same time, we gotta play cautiously because you never know in these stakes. Table 3, we pick up aces with Jack 6. Let me pause. Poker King Joe. I've seen him 3-bet with garbage, play with garbage, and he min 3-bets us. I guess again that's the theme of our video. It seems get min 3 raised pre-flop. I'm gonna 4-bet and try to get our money in pre. And table 4, we didn't flop our set, so we're just done with the hand. We pick up a 9 high flush draw, but there's no money in the pot, so it's no reason to get involved. Table 3, we get donk pot bet into us. This is 3-handed. If it was just me and Poker King Joe, I'll probably get the money in. But since Josie A is on the button, I can't do that, in my opinion. I mean, I do only have a pot and a half pot size bet behind, but I honestly don't think I'm good. I'm probably going to be against a monster draw by one of these guys. And I guess I just have to fold in this spot with the 3 players, which is unfortunate. But in pot limit Omaha, you gotta be really disciplined and lay down good looking hands pre. So here we go. I do end up folding. Button jams and puts the original original 3-better all in. And let's look at the hands that they both have. Josie Ace is 8, Jack 4, 5, double suited. Highly questionable call pre from my original raise, and calling my 4-bet. That's not a very good call in my opinion. Poker King Joe, I'd prefer to see a call instead of a min 3-bet. and he called my 4-bet, which I don't, it's not too bad. Obviously, if the 6 was a 7, I wouldn't fault his call. But yeah, you see these plays and you just wonder, what the heck are they thinking? And when you see a flop like that, you're like, oh, they're waiting for a flop like that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what Josie A is doing. Poker King Joe, I kind of understand, but at the same time, I don't. So yeah, we'll see how the hand plays out. Table 1, we pick up queens of 10 jack, and the 10 and the queen is suited, so we'll see what happens. This might be the last hand I talk about. Fit the good old 15-minute time limit on YouTube. Table 4, we have ace 4 9 deuce suited, four-handed. We get min 3-betted again, and I decided to fold because my hand wasn't coordinated enough, so no big deal. We flop top set. Oh, let me slow this down for a second here. Table 3, Poker King Joe raised, I believe, and I called, and Josie A, who limped, called as well, and we flopped middle set, which is always nice. And here at this point, I'm just trying to get all my money in. I don't think any of them have aces in their hands, so even if they do, I mean, it's just a cooler, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So here we go. I bet out, everyone folds. Pick up a small pot. Table 3, we get open ender, bottom end, but there's no money in the pot, so no way to get involved. Josie A raises us, and he has top pair with a gut shot. We get our boat, and we're gonna win the hand, and we win him a nice sized pot. Yeah, I think that's might be the last hand I want to talk about. Oh, we'll talk about one more. Table 3, we have aces again with 7-5 suited. I obviously 3-bet him, with his track record. And we flop top set, which is always nice. I go ahead and pot size bet it, and fortunately nobody calls, so we'll pick up a nice size pot. I'm looking at the rest of my video. I think some of the action is dying down, so I don't think I'll make a third part for this video. So yeah, maybe we'll see an interesting hand or two before I call it quits. Yeah, Poker King Joe's just min raising, min 3-betting almost every time. So I think I write a note on him later saying that he does that. So if you guys see him play, hopefully you get a good hand when you play against him, and hope you hit and bust him, because he's not a very good player. Table 3, we pick up kings and 5s with the king, one of them suited, which is pretty good, 3-handed. He calls. We get pretty good flop. Go ahead and c-bet that. We have an overpair, and he calls. And he, river turn isn't very good, but I go ahead and still rep. I can have queen king. River is a 6 of spades, and he bets out 3/4 pot. With his history and his style, I think he has me beat, so I go ahead and fold. Yeah, I think this is going to be last part. The second part is going to be the last part. We have kings with 9-10 suited. We get 3 callers, and we miss our flop completely, and small blind checked. Under the gun bets out, and we're just gonna fall. We have no equity. Lots of things could be calling that's gonna be in better shape, so I'm gonna fold. Thank you for watching. This is Defender of Angels signing out.